Chaos rising. Divine rise, blessed be to the day. Divine rise and blessed be to the day. Today is the only day that matters, because from this point, we understand that everything is a reflection based on experience and or observation. And when we are emotionally triggered, it is an experience we must need to go through. And when we can look back at it without being emotionally triggered, we have now come into a state of observing to master the lesson. With mastering the lesson, we got to get into the aspects of chaos. Something that a lot of us will avoid, similar to, we avoid the chaos. We avoid conflict. Not understanding that chaos and conflict are both warnings of settling. The justified and necessary use of our power in overcoming the deliberate and persistent interferences in our life. Chaos is the warning of settling. Chaos is the warning of settling. When things are inside of a decline, when things are in a decline, chaos signals the need to change. Very appropriate for me to have this shirt on. Sweat more, bitch less. But why? So when we avoid, usually when chaos erupts, a chaotic event happens, we do one or two things. For some do one or two things. Either they avoid the conflict of chaos or they react to the conflict of chaos. We avoid the conflict of chaos or we react to the conflict of chaos. We need to learn to become the chaos. The chaos is the natural cycle, and the natural cycle of your energy, of your divine soul. Chaos is the natural effect of how everything moves. It keeps you outside of that comfort zone. With chaos, we learn the warning signs of settling for something. When we avoid chaos, we champion in settling. When we react to the chaos, we give into the constriction. I noticed for myself a long time ago that whenever a chaotic event happened, whenever something chaotic happened, there was a fight, there was an argument, I was in the wrong place. I was thinking I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Any of these things, I noticed I had to look back while I'm doing my shadow work, and I really had to look back and be like, you know what? This keeps happening. This chaotic event keeps happening because I'm avoiding something. This chaotic event keeps happening either because I'm avoiding something that I need to learn, or I am reacting when I need to learn how to respond and observe. A lot of times we get in this twisted sense where, because we're so used to not charging ourselves, not taking responsibility for ourselves, not taking accountability for ourselves, not coming into our full healing process, that when things seem to start settling, that means we settle for something. When you settle for something, you automatically look for something of chaos. You automatically will go look for something to be chaotic. You will go look to try to start some shit up. But why? Why haven't you learned how to become the chaos? Everything you're doing in that space, when you're not executing through that state of vulnerability, you're always going to find yourself looking for chaos. We will go and look for the chaotic situation. We will go look for the drama because we're learning based on that biased aspect. We need that. We feel the need for something in order for us to set our tone, to set our space. So we look for the chaos. We look for the chaos to be able to react to the chaos, to be able to set our tone or set our path. Or we avoid the chaos. We avoid the chaos to avoid change. If you avoid chaos, you're avoiding change. If you react to the chaos, you haven't learned how to embrace change. If you're always avoiding chaos, that means you're avoiding the conflicts. You're avoiding the conflict based on becoming uncomfortable so you can progress. If you're always in a position where you say, okay, I'm calm in my space, but every time I go over there, that space is always chaotic. You haven't learned, we have to learn this aspect of your peace of mind, your peace, you being in peace, you being in balance, you keeping yourself in peace, you keeping yourself in balance is going to be going through the challenges of the chaos. You know that if you go over to certain people's places, greetings. You know that if you go over to certain people's houses, certain people's spaces, you know if you go over there, it's going to be, you may not know exactly what's going to happen. You may not know exactly what's going to happen, but you know some shit's going to go down. You know something's going to go down. But the thing in learning it is why do I keep allowing myself to go into this space? Why do I allow myself to keep being attached to this space and going through the chaotic situation? What is it based on? Is it helping me grow? Is it helping me expand? Is it helping me evolve? Is it helping me learn? What is it doing for me? How am I using this chaos to transmute? How am I using this chaotic space to transmute and set my boundaries? How am I using this chaotic aspect in order to grow myself and to groom myself? How am I using this chaos to challenge myself? How am I using chaos to challenge myself? Or do I want to just avoid something? Am I still not dealing with something that's deep down below the surface? The chaos keeps me from looking down below the surface. It gives me enough heat. It gives me enough heat. It gives me enough heat. It gives me enough traction and enough friction for me to always go back to my old self. To always go back to this sense of my normalcy based on my identity. I noticed that for myself, in order for me to maintain certain identities, in order for us to maintain certain identities with ourselves, we'll put ourselves into the position, we'll keep ourselves in that position of giving more loyalty to others than we give to ourselves. Giving more respect to others than we give to ourselves. Giving the sense of trying to bring that mediator, that peace to others more than we give to ourselves. So we can say, see, I'm all about peace. I'm all about loyalty. I'm all about respect. But as I said, damn near, I say it all the time, even to myself, nobody is going to give you more respect than you give to yourself. When you start giving yourself that true aspects of respect, when you start respecting yourself, when you start revising and you start respecting yourself, when you start working within yourself, it's going to cause that natural shifting in chaos. It's going to cause that natural shift in conflict because it's uprooting and taking things out of the position of settling. You see, we stay in that position a long time, that chaotic situation, because we have a fear of setting. We have a fear of setting our boundary. We got that fear of setting that new tone. We have that fear of setting into that vulnerability with ourselves. We have this fear of allowing ourselves to actually change. Change. Chaos brings change. So what are you afraid to change? This is when we start doing that reflection to ourselves. Chaos brings change. Chaos brings change. Chaos warns us of settling. Whenever we come into that space where we start to settle for things, we automatically go through the next cycle when it becomes chaotic based on what we settled on. We have to challenge ourselves from settling. Stop settling for less. Stop settling in that space with yourself based on keeping that blind spot in your life. Stop settling and keeping yourself in that blind spot. Stop skipping over the spaces where it's going to be great conflict because you'll never step into that progression. Stop only allowing yourself only to go to that subsurface level. The space where all of your shadows and all of your insecurities and all of your pains is lying in, and it's just creating these reflections into your environment. Now you're going into this space where you keep slipping over the black ice in your life. You got all these spots of black ice in your life, whether it be that same dead-end relationship, whether it's the same person or the different archetype, but the same individual. Now you keep slipping up. Now you're wondering why you're slipping up, and now you're stuck in a state of reacting to those cues in your life, all because you're afraid to actually allow the chaos to ensue, to allow the conflict to happen, to allow yourself to learn from the chaos, to allow yourself to learn from the conflict, because you're afraid to sweat. You're afraid to sweat. You're afraid to detox. Sweating is that detox. You're afraid of that pressure that's going to make you sweat. Because it's going to force you to get stronger. You're just going to stop bitching. Because you're sweating more. You're detoxing. You need to detox your life. You need to detox your life. In the reflections, as you start to detox yourself, you detox your life. You allow the chaos to erupt. We allow that chaos to erupt. We allow that conflict to happen so we can learn from it. You can't learn where things have settled. You can't learn in a space of stagnant. You can't learn in a space where things have settled. You can't learn in a place that things are stagnant. Because think about it like this. If you go right now to the beach and you go to the bottom of the fucking ocean and you want to go look in the bottom of the ocean, it requires conflict. It requires chaos to start digging. In order for you to change, in order for you to invoke that change, in order for you to embrace and invest it into your day, it's going to take that chaos. It's the only thing that matters. I want you to be the best. And that's what we got into this week on the God Hour podcast. We got into blind spots, the glacier effect. We all understand the glacier effect. We all know the glacier effect. That means your anger is at the top, your happiness is at the top, your depression is at the top. This embodiment of the physical manifestation of your emotions at the top, and at the bottom is everything behind making that feeling, and in between is that permafrost, that layer that gives that life. It's time for you to tap into that. Tune in to tap out. God Hour podcast is out now. Tune in to tap out. The link's in the description. Hit the flow page. Hit the flow link, the God Alkhemist flow page link. Get in there to the podcast. After you get into the podcast, follow me on Instagram. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on, subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can get more and more depth into these lessons. If you're interested within service, everything from readings to scheduling that shadow work consultation, GodaCoAlchemistLLC.com, or you hit me in the inbox. Have openings after 2. Got openings after 2 today. After 2 and before 5, because you know tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we getting into the God Hour show. I want you to be the best. I want you to embrace the chaos, embrace the conflict, so you can learn how to move forward. Stop settling. Stop putting yourself in a state of settling. I love you. We love us. Ashe.